Hey, how's it going, guys? So I figured I'd just whip this video up right quick, as I've been getting a whole lot of users basically requesting a quick start guide because they've just bought the CronusMAX and they want to start using their controller mods and making their games more enjoyable. So first I'm just going to go over the hardware that's included. There's a CronusMAX adapter, which is obviously the main piece of the kit. There's a PlayStation 4 sound card. And what this does is you plug this into the PlayStation 4, and you plug your headset or mic into this 3.5 millimeter port here on the front, and then you're able to use your headsets on the PlayStation 4. And you also have a Bluetooth adapter, which is for using your DualShock 4 controllers, the DualShock 3 controllers, the Wii controllers, and the Wii U wirelessly with the CronusMAX. So you just sort of plug this into the Cronus, and then your controller will be connected to the CronusMAX wirelessly. Alright, so first thing we need to know, hold on, before I forget, it also comes with a mini USB cable. Now this is what you use to plug the device into your computer and get it programmed through this port here on the side. So again, let me see if I can get this focused a little bit better. Okay, there we go. As you can see, this port right here on the side, it says PC Prog. You plug the male end of the mini USB cable into this port here, and then you plug the other end of the USB cable into your computer, and you're now able to program this with your game packs, controller mods, GPC scripts, or remapper profiles. You also need it connected to the PC through this port if you're going to be playing with mouse and keyboard. Okay, so now that I've gone over all of the hardware with you, I'm going to show you how to get it set up and ready to play your games. Alright, so the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to go to the CronusMAX.com website. This is where you'll find the software, obviously under the software select section here. So we'll go here, and we need to download Cronus Pro. So we'll tell it to go to the downloads page, and here's the download button for Cronus Pro. You'll want to download this, have it installed, and then open it up. Alright, so now that you've downloaded and installed Cronus Pro, again, the software that we'll be using for the CronusMAX, you will need to connect the device to your PC, just how I showed you earlier, using the mini USB cable through the PC program port. So let me go ahead and get mine connected here. Now, one very important thing to remember is that your CronusMAX must be connected to a USB 2.0 port. A USB 3.0 port, which is usually blue, it will not work because it sends a different amount of power to the device, and it's a different USB protocol basically. So once you have that plugged in, you'll need to go into the Tools menu, and if it does not automatically suggest to update your firmware of the device, you'll want to go to Firmware Update and update your firmware. And then another thing you'll need to do is go to the Manual Updater. Let's see. Okay, mine's up to date. And you'll want to download the CronusMAX instruction manual. And I'll show you why you want to download that here in a second. So after you have your device updated and everything's good to go, you'll need to head over to the Programmer tab, because I'm sure that you want to play, using game packs and stuff, because that's why you bought the device. So if you notice, I have a bunch of game packs over here programmed. I'm just going to clear these out for right now because I was testing some stuff. So, okay, there we go. See, so yours will look completely blank the first time. Now, what you'll want to do is head over to this list here that says Game Packs. And you'll find the game that you want to play. So, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to use the Black Ops 3 Jittermaster game pack. You drag it into a slot, and you'll see this pop-up box that comes open. What you'll need to do is tell the game pack what your in-game button layout is, and you'll also need to tell it if you're using a Southpaw or a Legacy Southpaw analog stick layout, because if you do not set these correctly, your mods will not work correctly. So if you're using like the Charlie in-game button layout, but you have this set to default, whenever you run your mod, it's going to be pressing the wrong buttons because it's looking for the default layout instead of a Charlie layout. So let's see. So you'll find the here, like where it says rapid fire and jitter. That's the name of a mod. Fire mode. You can select when rapid fire comes on. So for example, if we want to set the optimized rapid fire, these are timings that we found that works well basically on every gun in the game. Now it's not going to speed up fully auto weapons, but it'll help since you're firing a single shot over and over. It'll be a little bit slower firing speed, but it'll be much more steady and accurate than just trying to spray full auto. You'll get a little bit less recoil and such. And in other games with other game packs back here, this can help completely eliminate the recoil. I know there's some guns in Destiny where this works. But say you want to tune your own rapid fire speed. So you'll select adjustable rapid fire. And where it says rapid fire adjustable parameter, this is the amount of time that the trigger is held down and released for. So by default it's at 40 milliseconds, which is pretty much the lowest that the lowest value that a console will see that you've held the button down for. So if you have this set to 40 milliseconds, it's going to hold the trigger down for 40 milliseconds, release it for 40 milliseconds, and repeat that over and over. So you could change this if you're finding that your weapon is skipping shots or firing kind of wonky. You can raise this up some, and then if you find that it's firing too slow, you can sit there and slowly lower this so that you get your rapid fire speed fine-tuned to that one gun. And okay, so say we have adjustable rapid fire, but we only want rapid fire to come on if we're aiming down our sight. So what we'll do is we'll select scope enable. And what that does is it looks to see if we're pulling the left trigger, and only if we're pulling the button that aims down the sights, then it'll fire rapid fire. Or we can have it vice versa, where it's only firing with rapid fire if you're hip firing. We have dual independent, dual easy. I'm not exactly sure what dual easy scope disable is. I believe that it will fire both weapons. Say if you're using like akimbo pistols, it'll fire both of them using the rapid fire. Only if you have the right trigger pulled, and then it won't fire if you have the left trigger pulled. And say like if you have it set to press sensitive, it'll only fire rapid fire if you have the trigger pulled all the way down. And then in shot mode, you have stuff like drop shot, jump shot, side shot, scope shot. I'm not exactly sure what that does. Well, I mean, obviously drop shot drops you down. Jump shot will jump whenever you fire. We have the anti-recoil mod, which again, you'll have to set this if you're playing with a inverted Y or a regular Y axis. And then where it says weight, this is the value that it'll set your thumbstick to. So, if with 25, every time that you pull the trigger down, it will move the thumbstick to lower the weapon to 25% of the thumbstick. So if you notice your weapon is still going up, obviously you have recoil, so you'll need to use a higher number. But if you have this number set too high, your gun will start pointing towards the floor whenever you're firing. So you can just sort of go through and pick and choose your mods that you want to use. And back to what I was saying earlier about downloading the manual. For all of the game packs, there's a button right here in the lower left-hand corner. If you click that, it brings up a pop-up menu with the instruction manual. So if you notice, since we're using the Jitter Master game pack, it brings up the instructions for the Jitter Master game pack. And any other game that we have, well, actually look, if we just go over here to game pack instructions, you see this huge list. Like every single game has its own instruction manual that explains how to use the mods. So once you have that configured, you can go ahead and close that out. And you have 9 slots over here that you could program for different games. You can use the same game with a different set of mods. And it essentially gives you 9 different modded controllers all in one. So you can just select the program device button here, So you tell it to program, it'll write everything to the device, and then you can select finish, and now the game pack that we threw onto the device and dropped it into slot 1 with the mods that we chose to use will now be on slot 1 of the CronusMAX. So when you have it connected to your console, you'll press that button that's right under the LED screen, right above the CronusMAX Plus logo, and it'll switch between, all the slots that you have programmed. So just real quick before we go and try to get everything connected to our console, you'll want to go into the options menu, hit this reset factory defaults button, and then you'll go into the device tab, and where it says output protocol, you'll want to change this to the console that you're using. Now by default it's set to automatic, which means the CronusMAX will look to see which console that it's getting signal from, and then it'll it'll change the output protocol for you automatically, and for that session. So say if you leave it on automatic and you're constantly switching between your Xbox One and your PlayStation 4, you'll just unplug it from the PlayStation 4, plug it into the Xbox One. It'll realize that you're using an Xbox One now. It'll use the Xbox One protocol, and then you'll authorize with your Xbox One controller and use your crossover controller if you choose to. And then whenever you get done gaming, if you decide you want to play on PlayStation 4, it'll realize like, oh hey, it's PlayStation 4 again, and it'll start using that that set of signal to the console. So what I personally do is I set it to which console it is that I'm using. So for example, if I set it to PlayStation 4, it's looking for a PlayStation 4 already, and it helps get you authorized a little bit faster. Now, if you're going to be using this on your PlayStation 4 with the Bluetooth adapter, like what I was explaining earlier, you'll want to select this this option here, which looks for a DualShock 4 controller whenever you're trying to connect the controller to it wirelessly. If you don't have this selected, it's not going to find your PlayStation 4 controller. And another thing you can do is select this DS4 BT Boost, which what's the best way? It basically sends and receives more data to a DualShock 4 controller, allowing a smoother connection for you. It just greatly improves the way that the DualShock 4 controller works. And then with the Rumble over Bluetooth option, I leave this disabled just because I don't like playing with Rumble. But now, if you set this to full speed and you notice your controller starts rumbling and it disconnects, you'll want to use either Flow Control or Flow Control Plus, which changes the way that the rumble signals are sent through. I mean, you won't physically feel any difference; it'll feel just the same, but it changes the way that the rumble signal is passed through the device. So once you have all of that set, you can just close out of this, and those settings will be saved automatically. And from here, you can follow one of my other videos that explains how to get your CronusMAX set up with the console and using the controller that you want to use. I really hope that this video has helped you all out. And as always, please like this video if you've liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to view more of my videos.